and yeah, no, here we are.
And what was the fans about?
Process with this. But I think the hardest thing was for his family. I'm really sorry for his mom and his father who had this very as a like total surprise, and I think that's the saddest part of this thing. And also his sister who has to deal with everything here in Finland. So having degrees and then to do all the hassle with all the practical stuff, it must be tough.
Yes, and I observed that many of your fans went through this with you at the same time. So how did it feel that many people around the world, your fans specifically, were expressing their sympathy about it? How helpful was it?
Well, it was great to see how big effect he had on so many people. Of course, we knew that he's an extraordinary man and extraordinary talent and extraordinary charisma. We knew that he touches a lot of people and like worldwide, but it was also very nice to see that the amount of condolences came from every part of the world, and also how the media took it. A lot of big magazines did a big issues about his life and his achievements. So I think it was a great thing to see that how much he is appreciated as he was supposed to, because he was such an extraordinary musician and talent.
Yes, exactly, and that's also what I felt, that all the fans tried to also cheer you guys up, that yes, we are with you, and I hope that they conveyed the message to you, and you said that yes, you recognize that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we got a lot of nice comments and a lot of how do you say, reassuring messages and just a lot of warm vibes from Children of Bodom fans all around the world.
Yes,
which is a very nice thing, of course.
So let's go through happy moments. Like what funny memories you remember from Alexi when it just come to your mind?
Well, there's many, of course. Well, for example, when he asked me to join the band, I think it was pretty random. We knew from school each other, and then I knew that they had a band, and then after the school we went to this one cafe close to the school to smoke cigarettes and drink coffee, and then he just randomly asked me like, "Hey, Henka, do you want to join a good band?" And then, of course, I knew that he was talking about his band, and I was like, "Yeah, of course." But I remember the exact moment, because it was like, I don't know if it really translates well, but he said like, "You want to join a good band?" Like, and the emphasis was like on good.
And it was named differently, right? Inerted or something like that.
Yeah, back in the day it was Inerted, yeah.
Yes, and so you have been friends with each other for a long time, I assume, since that time, because as you said, since high school.
Yeah, that was 94, so I was 14, and I knew them already like 2 years before, so since 92, probably, yeah.
I see. And when was the time that you realized this is more than a hobby to you and this is getting serious?
Well, I played football at the same time, and then I remember at around when I was 18, no, a little bit earlier, maybe 17. That's when I quit football, because there was not enough time anymore for football, because we were practicing a lot with the band. So that was maybe one sign. But of course, it was still a hobby, because it was not a job. Because in job you get paid, but with Children at Bodom, the first years, many years was of course no payment. Like like with any starting bands, or at least many starting bands. So I think maybe around 2003, that's when we started the company for the band. That's when it became like less of a hobby, because then we had a company under the band. So I think that's an easy point to say when it was no more a hobby, it became more like a profession, I would say.
I see, and everyone are joining the chat. They are saying hi to you around,
Hi.
basically from around the world. Turkey,
Turkey,
Mexico,
Mexico.
yes, many countries they already
That's
observed. Russia,
that's Greek.
Brazil. Thank
Brazil,
you guys for joining.
Russia.
And I also try to check all the comments here. So you guys, if you have any question, I may add. Also, I'm trying to ask Henka the questions I received since yesterday. So, Henka, the other question that usually your fans asked was related to Bodom after midnight. So, you guys were separated in the last year, as you mentioned, and they want to know what was the reason.
Well, there was many reasons, and we put out a few statements back in the day in 2019, trying to clarify stuff in a very diplomatic way. And we are now, of course, now the time is a little bit sensitive because Alexi passed away, but now that there's this some weird rumors about what happened and stuff, we are planning to at some point to give a more clear message what actually happened. But but like we already stated officially on our Facebook that the vibe in the band was not correct anymore. It became hard to work with each other, and then we all decided together that it's going to be the end of the band. So that's pretty much it. But but we will come back to this officially. So I don't want to now talk without the other guys being here, but yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
I see. So your fans cannot expect, for example, new music from Children of Bodom exactly with this title, right? So there will be alternative projects.
Yeah, it's very hard to imagine that there will be new music from Children of Bodom without Alexi Laiho.
Exactly, yes. I heard the same from Daniel, that he said that they're not going to do that also for Bodom after midnight. So I think that's all of you have in common these days, that you don't want to do that. So
yeah, I mean, Alexi wrote 95% of all the music for Children of Bodom wrote, so it would be really, difficult to say the least to do anything. And Children of Bodom was our and Alexi's band, so making new music would feel weird.
yes, you're right. And what are you going to do personally in the future? Is there something that you can share with public at the moment?
Well, me and Jaska have new musical projects, and I think Janne has also something cooking, but I think that's not as far as my and Jaska's projects. But yeah, keep checking our socials, and then you will find out more. We try to keep this Children of Bodom channel as only concentrating on Children of Bodom stuff.
Okay, so if they want to know about your personal projects, they should follow your personal accounts, as I understand.
Well, yeah,
right?
That's where you can at least find information. Yes.
So
yes.
Mostly now you try to make this channel like memories of Children of Bodom at this stage.
Yeah, we like to keep now this Children of Bodom Facebook and Children of Bodom Instagram and Twitter as a forum for the community, that we can talk to people can talk to us, sharing the memories. If there's any news, we will share it here first. So this is just concentrated on Children of Bodom legacy.
I see, and everyone, I think they agree that the Children of Bodom legacy will live on, and they are trying to also make it happen by contributing to your page every day. And I see that on your story, you all the time share new things from your fans, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, because when we were active, we had hard time keeping up with the social media of the band. So now when 2 years ago when we when we became inactive, then we realized what is left of Children of Bodom, that there's such a big fan base. There's so much music. There's so much things to, take care of. You cannot just leave it, lying out there in the internet. You have to really grab into it. And then that's why when we started to activate ourselves more, and I think it's really, really nice also now because now we cannot meet the fans on the road anymore. So now at least we can talk to the fans here through the social medias.
And do you think are there going to be any special events to gather the fans together in the future after pandemic?
Yes, we are planning on some things. Of course, now with the pandemic, it's hard to plan, but it would be nice to do. Somebody already suggested was it on Facebook or somewhere, that we should all gather at the lake bottom and grill and just chill out. But yeah, some sort of a gathering would be really, really nice to do with fans, because it feels a little bit weird that there is so many people that we have met throughout the years on the road, and now it's going to be super hard to catch up anymore, at least live. So let's see what we come up with. And at least we did last week the Instagram live here on CLBHC Instagram, and we are planning to do a Facebook live at some point. And hopefully when the pandemic is over, we could do something like you said, that we could invite people to certain place and then just have fun.
Yeah, that would be great. Also, as I understood from the fans, that they loved your last week live, except for the seagulls noises.
Okay,
well, lots of them.
Yeah, you don't really notice them when you are there, but maybe from the speaker it sounds horrible. But yeah, there were some seagulls and some dogs and some random drunken people.
Yes, and some people that didn't know your band very well, they asked about why Children of Bodom. Why this name?
Well, that's a good question. We wanted to have we had the first album out, but we had no name. And then we were at the record label's office, and we were thinking, okay, their album comes out, like, let's say in 4 weeks. We need to come up with a name. And then one of the Spine Farm, one of the guys who was working for Spine Farm, then he just came with I think he came with was it the map or something? But somehow he came with, hey, this place called Bodom. And we're like, well, yeah, we know the lake. What about it? Yeah, there was this murder happening back in the day. Okay, and then we started to dig into it, and then we started thinking, okay, Bodom is actually it's a weird word for even Finnish person, because it's like Swedish word, but we thought that maybe it's good weird, maybe it's even weirder in English, and then we started to think of the combination for Bodom, and then we ended up with Children of Bodom. And then everybody was asking, like, okay, but then what when you are like old, are you going to change your name to adults or something? But yeah, we didn't.
So it sounded mysterious for you.
No. That's about it. That's what happened. And of course, we are from Espoo, and the lake is situated in the same city, so in a way, it ties our roots also there. So
it wasn't like one of you guys, for example, were born there in that region.
No, nobody was born in the region. But yeah, in the same city. I was born. Well, actually, the hospital where I was born is probably like 5 kilometers from the lake. So pretty close.
Okay, so that makes sense in that way.
Yeah, I never thought about it, but actually, now that you said it, yeah.
And by the way, is that correct that you have Master of Science in Social Sciences?
Yes, I have master's degree in political history, in social sciences. Yeah.
That's impressive. So, have you done anything related to that in your life, or you were focused on your music band?
Well, I did. I graduated while touring. I did my master's thesis actually in 2011. We were playing Costa Rica with Megadeth, and I remember I sent it on an off day in Costa Rica. I sent it to my professor, like, oh, now it's done. But then I haven't done pretty much anything with it. I have done some teaching, like some substitute teaching, but no, not officially not. I haven't done anything with my message. Maybe one day I will. I don't know yet.
I see. So there is a chance maybe in the future you consider it then.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? And I mean, of course, it's part of me. You know, it's part of my what's the word? It's part of what I've become and what I know. And of course, it's if I ever, you know, try to work somewhere, of course, it's you can see that I'm a master of social sciences. So of course, then in a way, it will always go with me, and in a way, it will always be part of the decision, whoever I'm going to be dealing with. So in a way, I guess I'm sure I'm going to do something with it. But
I see. And by the way, guys, some of your questions, we already talked about it, and I will put the video for you guys so that you can see it later. So for those questions, I won't say, but if I will find new questions, for sure, I will ask from Henka. So keep the questions coming, and I will sure check them out. And Henka, by the way, so you were the bass guitarist of Children of Bodom. So which one of the songs are your favorite in terms of bass guitar?
I was really happy with Hex title track when I suggested Alexi that maybe in the end of the song we could put this old fretless bass, and I wrote this small melodic part in it, and that could I play it with the fretless bass, and Alex was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do the fretless. And I'm like, okay, wow, and then we did it. So I'm really happy that with Hex. Well, it became the last album also, but that we finally did something a little bit weird with bass. So I think that was quite interesting. Sadly enough, we never played it live. But when it comes to live songs, I think "Are You Dead?" is a lot of fun to play. "Hateful Death Roll" is always be one of my favorites. "Bodom Beach Terror," one of my favorites. That's yeah.
Yeah, I see. And you were also back vocal of Children of Bodom. So what about that? Which one was your favorite? And you were waiting, for example, this part comes so that you can sing.
Well, it was more about shouting and some like kind of like black metalish doubling of Alex's vocals. But there was six pounder. There was actually you could have. There was actually a note there was actually a melody that I had to follow. So that was always very challenging for me because it was also quite high note. So I would say 6 pounder because it was always a challenge for me to sing the harmony with Alex's main vocals.
Yes, your fans also agree with Hex that the bass guitar there is awesome. And they also asked about your favorite place in your tours, that which place was the best, and you have lots of good memories from it.
Well, that's impossible. I tend to always find nice things in every place. That's an impossible question. I would. I don't know. There's good places, good things in every place. So it's hard to say. Of course, maybe I have to point out United States because it has so many different things in it in one country. So of course that's in a way easy to say because within one tour you can be on the Californian beach, or you can be in the snowstorm in Minneapolis, or you can be in the swamps in Florida. So not many countries have that, at least. But then again, like you're in Cyprus. I remember the beautiful sunny day and the really good food we had there, even though it was a short trip. And
which city of Cyprus were you?
We stayed in. I forgot. I think the show was in Nicosia, but I think we stayed in the kind of like, it was more like a resort kind of thing close by.
Oh, I see. So you were performing maybe in one of the resorts of a hotel.
No, I think we played actually in the city.
Oh, okay.
But we stayed. The hotel was on the beach.
Yes, I think because
Yeah,
none of them could handle the crowd, and so it needed
yeah.
to be an open air.
No, it was a small club, but I forget the name. Somebody have to Google it, or maybe some of you guys online will remember.
Yes, and do you know when was it approximately?
It was around 10 years ago, 2000 and
It's
8,
because I
9,
can't
10.
believe I missed that because I've been here since 2010, and if I
It might have been just before, actually.
yes, it might be before. Otherwise, I wouldn't miss that.
Sophie says Pavilion Club. That's probably
Oh,
correct.
I see. And so
2012, Sophie again.
really,
So you missed it, doctor.
yes, I don't know how it happened. Where was I that time? So, and you visited Russia, by the way, many times. Is it because it is close to Finland?
Well, that's two, but there's a lot of really enthusiastic fans. But of course, it's also convenient for us to go there, and we had this really good booking agent / tour manager called Konsta, who actually lives in Finland. He's Russian, so we could always start from Helsinki with him, take the train to St. Petersburg or Moscow, and then start from there. So it's very easy and very convenient way to do it. So maybe that's one of the reasons. But I think the main reason is that because there's so many crazy fans out there, and it's also super nice to be in Russia. Also very nice and exotic places for us to see.
I tried to catch you a couple of times in St. Petersburg. Unfortunately, I had problem getting visa on time. So twice I missed that chance, and I couldn't believe that you were also in Cyprus. And Sophie mentioned about pavilion. Is it in Greek side or northern side? Because maybe if it was in Greek side, that was the reason. Because as foreigners, we cannot just pass the borders from northern to southern. And I think that most probably was the reason.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure. Sophie knows.
I see. So Sophie, let us know, please. And guys, also, if you have any questions, please let me know. I will share with Henka for sure.
So I saw a few people asking if I do play any other instruments. Yeah, I started with guitar, electric guitar. I actually started with like a classical guitar, but I switched to electric guitar quite fast, and then I got bass as my main instrument when I joined Children of Bodom.
And how do you like electric guitar so far?
Well, it's a little bit more difficult. I haven't been playing much since I changed bass to bass. I also played piano back in the day, and I have a ukulele also now. And so I like to play with acoustic guitar and bass and ukulele the most. I should also go back to learning piano.
I see. And I've noticed that Children of Bodom didn't have that much collaboration with other bands, comparing to other bands when I look at it. Is that true? And why is that?
You mean like recording?
Exactly, yes. Maybe your style was not compatible with them.
Well, I don't know. We thought that us five is just enough for making good albums. And also Alexi's songwriting was so strong that the songs were complete in very early stage, and there was no usually space for collaboration. Of course, there could have been made some space, but for some reason we always did the music just us five.
I see. And what about female members in your band? How was it to work with them? Like Kimberly was there, for example, and one of your keyboard player, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we just talked about this yesterday. Erna was on one tour,
yes.
yeah, and then Kimberly was on one tour. But that was like, Jesus, that was like late 90s. I don't even remember. But I don't know, nothing special. It was just an ordinary tours. Of course, they were not ordinary because they were one of the first tours we ever did. So we were just super excited about everything. But everything was fine, and I'm glad that we managed to play those tours, even though Janne couldn't join So I'm glad that Darren and Kim did the job.
I see. And people keep asking about your favorite band these days.
That's always a tough one. I haven't been really listening to much music now lately. Well, one long-time favorite is Gojira, and I heard the new song, and I was really happy that it's a good song.
And do you think the metal music is going to correct direction comparing 20 years ago?
Or you mean wrong direction?
I mean, does it go to a good direction, like somewhere we could say it's improving?
I don't know. My personality is always forward-looking, and I'm always always more interested in the new music instead of like really digging into the old ones. So I would say yes, because I hear all the time good new metal music coming, like for example, just mentioned this Gojira, and I think there'll always be good music, and I think there always will be good metal music.
And Inda asked a very interesting question that do you think Children of Bodom changed the direction of metal music in Finland?
It's hard to say. I don't know. I think our musicianship, the amount that we practiced and how that showed maybe in live performance and also on our records, I think that might have been something that changed a lot of young players' minds, to go back to practicing, and the basic thing, to practice. So I think in that way, yes. But then I don't know. I think it's somebody else who has to say about that. It's hard for me to say that what did we change or did we change.
So last week, Chaos TV had an interview with Alexander, your former band member, and he mentioned the reason he left Children of Bodom was mostly pressure of managers. Like it was going through different tours, and he felt like a robot just playing and didn't have that much passion. And I noticed again in Nightwish Music Band, Marco left the band for almost the same reason. So how did you guys survive under such pressure in touring?
Because playing live that music for the crowd is just the best thing to do, and especially, well, of course, Alexander was also older than us. Maybe, I don't know if that had to do with it, but when Alexander left, I was 23 and the other guys were 24, and he was 30. So maybe also there was a big, maybe it was also a critical age difference between us and him. Maybe he felt it more, choking than we did. But to me, like, the manager side was of course a good thing, because it gave the structure, it gave us the timeline, the future, it gave us deadlines, and of course gave a lot of opportunities to tour with bigger bands and so on. So but I get his point, and I remember the last tour we did, the long Hate Crew Death Roll tour in Europe, and we could see that he was not happy anymore. So I think he did the right choice back in the day.
And those guys who are saying that they actually were in your concerts internationally in many places, I envy those guys. Unfortunately, I never had that pleasure, but you guys were my favorite band of all time. I all the time mention that. But those guys, I really envy you. That's great.
Yeah.
And by the way, actually, I was talking with my parents that today I will talk with Henka from Children of Bodom. And surprisingly, they remember Children of Bodom because they usually listen to pop music. And they said, we remember that because we remember Alexi's screaming. And they thought maybe I got crazy. They should send me to maybe a psychologist or something when I was listening to that. Because those ages, usually people listen to, I don't know, NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. It was that fever.
Yeah,
So, but what I wanted to say is that I really appreciate your music because during that time, as a teenager, I had much dark thoughts, for example, in my mind, and I was thinking, okay, it doesn't match the music that I'm listening these days. And your music was about, for example, it had such lyrics, and the way Alexi made those songs, that I could totally relate it to that. And it really helped me to relieve those feelings. It was like Alexi was screaming for all of us. And I really appreciate you guys for making those music and help us go through those ages, as teenagers especially. I felt that, and I really owe it to you guys.
well, thanks. It's very very nice to hear. Of course, it's nice to hear from any, dark times in your life, but it's nice to hear that the music that we make and Alex's lyrics also, that they really resonate with other people too. And you're not the first one who says that, so I'm really glad that also the lyrical side, because for us it was mostly about music. And Alexi was the one who doing the lyrics, and we were not even sure what he was always dealing with, but it's relieving to hear that they touch a lot of people.
Yes, I'm sure I'm not the only one. There are lots of your fans, even in this room, they may agree to that you guys inspired them. So how does it feel that you inspired so many people around the world in general?
Well, of course, it feels good, and it has been a great honor to be able to do this and to be able to play this music around the world. I will always be happy to think back.
Yes, I'm enjoying talking with you so much. Usually I try to keep the interviews short so that we don't lose the video on Instagram. So let me go through the last questions. And what I want to ask you is related to your concert. That when we watch your concert video, it's go crazy. So, what do you think about the crowd, your crowd specifically? Because what we watch, especially when you sing about, for example, I worship chaos, it is the total chaos in the crowd. How do you describe your fans during your concert?
Well, I mean, they are just so big part of the whole show. They are like, it's such a, the synergy is so strong, and the interaction. So it's just, it's as important thing of the show as the band was. So I don't know how to say it. It's the main thing. That's why we always went on stage, and that's why we always did the thing, to see you guys there in the crowd, and to see the smiley faces and the sweaty skin and the moving hair, and if there was a circle pit or whatever, that's the best feeling.
And did you observe any funny moments in the crowd, like someone tries to just jump on the crowd and it fails, something like that?
Well, some of the shows, yeah, when there was not so many people, for example, in the crowd, and then some people would try to jump off the fence on the crowd, and then they would have really hard time to keep the person up there, without falling at the floor. And of course, sometimes you see that they fall, and that's also scary. And also when people do crowd surfing from the back towards the stage, and then you see that they're coming to the end, and then there's this big gap of nothing, and then you see that there's no security people to catch them. That's the scariest moment, when I'm there and trying to play, and then I see some, let's say, a small girl crowd surfing, and you see that, hold on, in 30 seconds she's going to fall 2 meters to the ground. And that's, it was quite many times when I lost my concentration. I missed a few notes when I was seeing what happened to these people who fall on the ground. But luckily, as far as we know, there was never any major accidents. But yeah, the intensity in the crowd was always the key thing.
Yes, it's very hard to imagine what your security goes through during your concerts, because that's totally get crazy. Henka, I really appreciate your time, and I'm honored to have this conversation with you. Would you like to add something?
No, thanks for having me, and thanks for all the people who joined, and all the Children of Bodom fans and supporters, and let's talk here in our Children of Bodom socials in the future. Let's see if we can also meet up at some point.
So Henka, I wish you the best for this page to actually continue this interesting job, and also I wish you the best, each one of you in Children of Bodom, the best in your alternative projects.
Thanks. You too, and have a good, hopefully better summer than last summer.
I hope so.
At least pandemic-wise. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thanks.
So see you, Henka. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.